Let's around table, we dance where we're able. We do routines to corner scenes to look for infant cable. We dine well here in Camelot, we eat ham and jam and scramble.
Hello, viewing several. Here we are again. It's customary at the end of any given year that one, if you create content, generally speaking, that you do some sort of a summary, round things off. And I figured the best version of me doing that is basically giving you a list of my favourite albums of the year. Not all of which have been reacted to on the channel. Admittedly, there'll be stuff here that I've not, posted, but I have listened to and I've enjoyed. So it's a kind of recommendation as well as just going over some of my highlights of the year. I'm not going to do any kind of ranking because I find that kind of stuff difficult because, frankly, although the genres vary slightly, there's a fairly consistent tone, I think. And also, because you've got different genres and what have you, ranking albums is always difficult, I think. It's not really... I don't find it as easy as, say, the Star Wars films. That's really, really easy. And anybody who disputes it, they're welcome to. But they're wrong. So in no particular order, other than maybe release order, because it's, as I've discovered these albums at more or less in the month that they're released, here's what I've enjoyed the most in the year of our Lord,
Hail Satan,
2025. So first off the bat is Lambrini Girls, Who Let the Dogs Out. I'd never heard of this band before until I just stumbled across one or two tracks of theirs. Thank you, algorithm, sometimes you do get it right. And then to this album. They are a all-female punk band formed in Brighton, here in the old U of K. And this album apparently actually broke into the top 20. It's a very visceral and just powerful record overall. Just really stripped down, no-nonsense punk music with a really definitive and obvious message that centres around, female empowerment, around, basic anti-misogynistic, pro-queer, angry and, aggressive in the way that a lot of great punk is, but also overwhelmingly positive at the same time. Just a really good time. If you like punk music in any capacity, particularly if you like old school punk sound, this is definitely something that you'd enjoy.
Big dick energy, big dick energy. Oh my god, you think you're absolutely everything. Buy another pig. Big dick energy, big dick energy. You're champion of heterosexuality. Stop telling me how much left. Big dick energy, big dick energy. You know what, mate? Stay the fuck away from me.
Then Lady Gaga's Mayhem. My first proper introduction to her as an artist by way of an album, because obviously I knew who she was. You'll discover if you look at the reaction on the channel that I was broadly familiar with her, and I'm going to continue to delve into her discography. But this was the first time I sat and really absorbed an album in its entirety, and I was blown away, loving the production, loving the style, the obvious inflection of like 80s. It basically felt like a reinvention of Madonna in many ways, but with much darker hues to it. Just a really enjoyable pop record overall, and made me feel like I had to dive deeper into her back catalogue, which I'm gradually doing on the channel.
I heard you begging for life, running out of medicine. You're worse than you've ever been. Screaming for me, baby, like you're gonna die. Poison on the inside, I could be an antidote tonight.
And Spiritbox, Tsunami Sea. When I discovered Spiritbox for the first time, I was completely blown away by, in particular, Courtney's talent, and this was a very worthy follow-up to the previous album. All the energy, all the aggression, just everything you'd expect from Courtney's kind of vocal delivery, but also beautiful, like with its melodic moments, a really beautifully constructed, like hard yet tender piece of work from a band that I've just loved more and more the more I hear from them. Then with Lucy Dacus, Forever Is a Feeling. I discovered her originally through Boy Genius, and then listened to, I believe it was the album that came out before this. It might have been her debut. Regardless, just discovered her immense talent, her really unique voice, her beautiful lyrics, a really great storytelling, And this just followed on in that tradition. Just felt very, very personal, very sweet, but also tragic at times. She's just a great songwriter, and I really love the uniqueness, it feels like, of her voice in particular and the way that she composes songs. This was just furthering my enjoyment of that genre and of actually every member of that band.
What if we don't touch? What if we only talk about what we want and cannot have? And I'll throw a fit if it's all I can do, if it's the thought that counts. Let's think it through.
And Sleep Token, even in Arcadia, I think so many people, sort of came into Sleep Token through, Take Me Back to Eden. I absolutely adore that album, particularly the title track, but there's plenty of tracks on there that are just gorgeous. The talent of Ethel, to the whole band, they're all phenomenal, and this is a very, very worthy follow-up. Epic in its scope. It feels very, I wouldn't say experimental, but there's sort of dips and weaves within the genres that are surprising and interesting. It never loses its overall cohesion. It's very moving. It's just a great work. Their talent does continue to impress, and I really hope that whatever comes after this continues in this kind of vein. They're only getting better, as far as I can tell. Kae Tempest, self-titled. Now, I saw them live several years ago, actually in the same venue that I went eventually to see The Warning. A phenomenal gig. I was going there for off the back of the Line as a Curve album tour. They're just a phenomenal performer. I've always loved their lyrics. I've always loved their style. And I mean, this album in particular is very important because it feels like now they are exactly who they want to be. And this album is a real statement about them personally and about their journey and about their acceptance of their self, but it's also a pretty profound statement about just general queer pride and liberation, and it's a message that I think is really important, particularly now.
Either I'm nice on the eye, or this person that's passing me by has never seen one like me before. We endure it, keep reaching for it, knee deep we keep pouring life force in a formless void. We're too gorgeous to dwarf the whole street when we walk. Are you transported? I cherish the ones who support us. Fear takes from us, but love restores us.
Baby metal forth. What is there to say? I've adored this band since I first discovered them. Sue's vocal talent has never wavered, it's only gotten stronger. It feels epic, it feels just confident and strong. They're not taking any kind of a dip. And it's another group that I hope, similar to with Sleep Token and Spiritbox and other, rock metal acts, where I just hope that they continue to grow, they continue to build on their sound, and, they don't take a holiday, essentially, from putting out great work. Ethel Cain, Willoughby Tucker, I Will Always Love You. Just devastating. I mean, Ethel's work is really important to me. From the moment that I discovered Preacher's Daughter, I was completely hooked. And this is just a further continuation. Special mention, I suppose, to Perverts, because that came out right at the very beginning of the year. I definitely enjoyed listening to that, but that was always more like not a one-off experience, but one of those things that you, as it was with some of the tracks on this album, where you just sort of sit in it and you let the ambience and the dissonance just absorb you. Whereas this is more like a actual album in the sense of there's a story that's being told, like with Preacher's Daughter. And by the time you get to Waco, Texas, you're just devastated in the best possible way. It was just a wonderful experience, even if it felt draining, frankly, by the time you got to the end.
I've been picking names for our children. You've been wondering how you're gonna feed them. Love is not enough in this world.
Deftones, Private Music. Another band that I've been a fan of ever since I was a teenager. Now, I haven't kept up with everything they've released, admittedly. White Pony will always have a special place in my heart. Whatever you might say about what they've been putting out over the years, I think it's safe to say that this is a real return to form. Gino's voice remains really distinctive and beautiful. The production and composition remains haunting at times, but also really hopeful, dark, sensual. It's just a really great piece of work. It just shows that, as with so many of the other bands I've mentioned so far, it doesn't matter that they've been doing this for, in some cases, nearly 30 years. They just continue to either stay at the same level or improve. Pinkshift, Earthkeeper. Another new discovery for me this year. Never heard of them before. Thank you again, Algorithm, because you recommended a few tracks that I think must have come from previous EPs or even albums, but then that led me to listen to this. Essentially a pop-punk band, if you had to give it any kind of genre definition, formed in Baltimore, I think about 6 years ago. Lead vocalist Ashrita Kumar is just phenomenal. I really love the tone and the style of her voice. There's soft melodic elements and there's, scream elements too. Just a really satisfying record. Again, pop punk feels a bit, not derivative, but it downplays the overall scope and the feel of it. It's got a very mature and exciting sound, and I really love her delivery. The whole band sound great. It's just one that everybody should check out. It's a band that I really want to stick with, and I can't wait to see what they put out next. Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend. Another one that I reacted to on the channel, and another sort of new discovery for myself, in the sense of I generally knew who Sabrina was. I'd heard snippets here and there, but this was the first album that I sat down with. Incredibly charming, flirtatious, sensual, exciting, funny. Just her lyrics in particular, as well as her great vocal delivery, the whole feel of it was just really fun. It was just a really good time, and it's one that I have come back to, and it's made me want to listen to more of her, though admittedly I hadn't listened to the preceding album, just snippets, so perhaps I need to react to that on the channel. You let me know.
Well, this is me, but if you have time, do you want the house tour? I could take you to the first, second, third floor, and I promise none of this is a metaphor. I just want you to come inside. Baby, what's mine is now yours.
Grandson, Intertia. This is an artist that I stumbled across about a decade ago, I think. Again, through the all-powerful algorithm. Blessings be upon you. Great mixture of, electronic and fairly traditional punk elements. This album in particular is much more of a statement because its lyrics and its general tone is much more one of defiance in the face of the growing threats politically in the world today. Literally calling out very particular people and pointing out the injustices and the bullshit that's surrounding us at the moment. So on that basis, just an important album because of what it's saying, but Grandson's production style and composition is always really exciting and really fun and never fails to move you and excite you.
still this is our land.
Spitz, Something to Consume, another new discovery this year. It seems to be focused a lot on either female-fronted or all-female groups. This one is no exception. American alternative rock all-female band. This is their debut album and it was phenomenal. I mean, just a wonderful blending of genres. There's a lot of metal in there. There's some, hardcore punk. Vocally, there's swings between, really lovely melodic stuff and incredibly harsh, gritty delivery. Both the vocalists are phenomenal. I've seen snippets of them performing live and they really deliver in that format too. I really hope that they find their way over here at some point and I get the chance to watch them. I feel like they could be the next The Warning for me, as far as, an all-female group who create just exciting and invigorating music. Like, it feels really gritty, it feels really raw. It's just a really, really good time and so mature, and it feels like this could be their third or fourth album. There's a lot happening there sound wise and the way it's composed, and it's experimental enough and varied enough that it doesn't get stale. It just feels like a really confident and strong debut, so I really can't wait to hear more from them. Taylor Swift, The Life of a Showgirl. Now, this is also on the channel. Via the channel, I've had a real journey as far as becoming a sort of Swiftie. Now, the discourse that's followed on from this, not just focused on the album, but on her personally, that has tilted me slightly. Just, the, accusations or analysis that says that she's pseudo-MAGA or is allowing her music to be used by that particular political project. There's a lot of criticism that's being levelled at her that I can't completely dismiss and that I can't say I don't agree with. But the album itself, I enjoyed. I had a good time with it. It was not breaking any rules or setting any new boundaries as far as her sound is concerned, really, but it was still a good time, as most of her albums are, even in the moments where it feels quite, somber. It still feels hopeful. It just felt like a very positive and very upbeat and interesting piece. So the only thing that sours it slightly is just the discourse that surrounds her personally and maybe around the album itself. But I still enjoyed it. I mean, go to the reaction just to get my on-the-spot feelings at the time, but I can't deny that I had a good time with it. Closing out with Lily Allen, West End Girl. What a way to end the year. Again, an artist that I knew almost in the same vein as Lady Gaga, really. Maybe less so, in fact. There was just a handful of songs I'd heard in passing. I knew who she was, broadly speaking. My first time digesting an actual album of hers, and as you can see from the reaction, quite impactful. Didn't know anything about the background of the story, the drama, the situation that led to it being recorded. But yeah, really, really sad, really profound, but ultimately very defiant and hopeful, and basically left on the message of things will get better. And I think this album release is maybe the first step of that for her. It just made me really feel for her. It was a real exercise in just producing art that makes you feel, draws you into the story. It gave you empathy and it made you reflect without it feeling gossipy, without it feeling sort of like tabloid fodder. It was profound and it was moving, and it definitely left an impression.
Where's all your empathy for all my pain? My friends will tell me you are deranged. I wanna feel held, I wanna be told I'm special and I'm unusual. I want your desire, I wanna be spoiled, I wanna be told I'm beautiful. Why won't you beg for me? Why won't you beg for me? Oh.
I have to give an honourable mention here for President, the King of Terrors, an EP And not one that really blew me away, as you can see from the reaction, but one that got me excited and enthused because I love the people involved, because, you know, I know who the lead singer is. As much as the EP itself just felt a little, not really flat, but it didn't really grab me in the way that some of these albums that I've mentioned have, but it definitely made me want to hear more, and it didn't make me want to dismiss them as a flash in the pan or a industry plant or as a, you know, something that wasn't worth getting excited about. I think that this is a band that's going to produce something really, really exciting and interesting. I hope they do, you know, with a full-length release. And if they ever swing this way, even moderately close to where I'm situated, I will buy a ticket. I want to see them live. So for what it's worth, there's my thoughts, my recommendations of albums I've enjoyed this year. If any of them pique your interest, please do give them a listen, or if you've already listened to them, let me know what you thought about them. In fact, get involved in the comments, you know? Close out the year by leaving your own list, leaving your own thoughts, maybe critiquing me if you thought that I mentioned albums that didn't belong on this list, or one or two that you think I would like, because I'm always up for recommendations, not just for reactions, but just generally. I love music, and I know there's loads of things that have come out this year that I probably haven't even looked at that I should have. You know, engage in the comment section below, because it helps the algorithm out, and it's just good to know that people are watching and that people have an interest in what I've been doing here, and that I hope to do more of as I get into a rhythm of actually recording and releasing more in the new year. So thanks as always for stopping by, guys. Do leave the comments, give it a like if you did like it. I hope to put out more stuff next year, be more consistent, deliver more of whatever it is you viewing several are getting out of this. It's been a great year in terms of growth on the channel. It's really appreciated. Always, any engagement, any comments just make me feel like I'm not completely wasting my time, and that somebody gets something out of me rambling into a microphone in front of a camera in a not particularly professional setup. It's encouraging and it's gratifying, so thank you. Thank you so much for everything you've done this year. Even if this is your first time watching, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, goodbye forever.
Shut up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway! Did you hear that, eh?
Broke into a million pieces and I can't go back, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The sky's a part of me, darkness and harmony, my voice without the lies. This is what it sounds like. Why did I cover up the colors stuck inside my head? I should have let the jagged edges meet the light instead. Show me what's underneath, I'll find your harmony. The song we couldn't write, this is what it sounds like.
Jesus, I wasn't going to attempt Golden, was I? Not that this was much better, to be fair.
You're all I can think of, every drop I drink of. You're my soda pop, my soda pop. Going down, you're so hot, pull me up, I won't stop. You're my soda pop, my soda pop.
And now we get to nearly 25 minutes, so, you know, that's fitting, kind of. I'm trying to get better at guitar as well this year. Anyway, ta-ra a bit.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.